The Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
It is great to be with you. Here we are in the Cougar football Martin Stadium press box is where we are. I had to think a moment. We're not in the Cougar football complex. We're in the Martin Stadium press box, and we're not quite yet with Nick Rolovich, but we are with our director of athletics, Pat Chun. Now, it's great to see you. It's not quite as great to see you because I thought this would be Kyle Smith. Kyle has COVID and will be calling in here. We'll be talking to him, and I'm glad he feels well enough to do so. But it is great to see you, Pat. A little bit of a bummer. Somewhat strange 2020 continues here.
Yeah, when I walked in, I said, it's not good to see you as much as I care about you and appreciate you, Chaz. We're thankful that the symptoms aren't severe with Kyle. But to his credit, to the credit of our medical team, the second he started feeling symptoms, obviously he took a test and went into the protocol and had a positive, I think, antigen test, and then confirmed with a positive PCR test. And fortunately, in the time in which the sequence happened of his testing, no one else is in the protocol for COVID. So feel bad for Kyle because this ramp up, they're gearing up for a season. They're trying to, I know they've gotten a lot of work done, but and I know technology will help them a little bit to still watch practice and maybe be a part of it. But I feel terrible for Kyle because I know how much he wants to be a part of this.
He was so close.
Yeah.
The timing of this, it's been going on all summer, and now you're right about to tip, and boom, it hits, and that was where my head went with it too.
And I think we're all brimming with optimism with the basketball team, and I know you've been stuck your head in that gym a couple times. I stick my head in there as much as possible, and this is the greatest testament I could give to Kyle Smith. I popped my head in there, I think yesterday I had popped my head in there just to make sure the guy, not that I can do anything, but knowing that Kyle was out of practice, there is not 1% drop off in the level of that practice, and that is a testament to Kyle Smith.
Yeah,
those guys are going hard. It don't matter. They could probably have no coaches in there, and those guys will go that hard. So I think that is who we are as a basketball program. We take a lot of pride that, hey, we're going to go bring our lunch pail. We're going to fight. We're going to scrap, and it's what you would expect out of a Kyle Smith practice. And you want to talk culture. Kyle Smith's practice was Kyle Smith's practice without Kyle Smith there, and that's a testament to Kyle.
And we'll talk to Coach here in a couple of minutes. He's going to call in here in this first segment. I'll ask him how this will go as well. Do you know who will be the coach standing up during calling plays? Is it Jim Shaw? Is it Derek Phelps? Is it John Andrzejczyk? Who's it going to be?
Well, I think we're fortunate. I think Kyle, one of the reasons, I remember when we interviewed Kyle, he had mentioned Shaw's name, but he talked about how important it was for him to have a coach with significant amount of head coaching experience on his bench. And then I think it's a self-awareness piece for Kyle because he brings himself a lot of experience, but he wanted that sage veteran coach on his bench, and he ended up with Coach Shaw. There were a lot of things he said in his interview that actually came true. So when we had talked on the phone yesterday, Shaw would just shift over. But these guys as a coaching staff, and I know you've spent a lot of time with them, they're all in sync. They all, they have a plan, and they stick to that plan, and how they game plan, and how they implement the game plan, and how they execute it. So I know the key trigger guy is not going to be there, but hopefully when it's all said and done, it's just one game. But we're keeping our fingers crossed, making sure we get that opening game in too, just the way the world is right now. So
that's the thing about it. And how is basketball? The schedule itself was just announced. Now I know you've been talking to a lot of folks behind the scenes, but how has basketball gone? Because we've all been in a football mindset. How do you think hoops is going to go and this tip-off, and how do you think it all works?
I'm very skeptical and worried right now just with the way COVID is just raging everywhere, impacting, I think we got Colorado's not playing this weekend in the Pac-12. It's already impacting, we have one game already impacted in our league. You see games impacted around the country. You feel good about us as a league once we get to league play. I'm still optimistic for Pullman. Once we kind of get through the next few days, our community is going to de-densify with students going home for Thanksgiving.
On hold.
And then they've been encouraged not to come back until next semester starts. So by theory, the COVID numbers should decrease. Our student athletes have done a great job, especially in June and July when no one was around here. So hopefully we can get back to that, but we'll see. Kyle is an example. The virus doesn't pick and choose. It'll take out a head coach if it can.
No discrimination at all.
Yeah.
No, it does not. Hey, speaking of which, we got Kyle on the line here. Jake, throw Kyle. Jake's our studio host. Throw Kyle on the line there. Coach, thank you for taking the time to call in here. I've got Pat Chun with us here in the press box, in the football press box. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, Coach?
I'm actually feeling pretty well.
A lot of people have sent their well wishes, and so let everyone know that. Hopefully there's not another wave of coming. I don't want to be speaking too soon, but I do feel pretty good. Glad that we caught it when we did, and no one else has been infected that I know of.
Really glad to hear it. Really glad you're well. Pat and I were just, one, singing your praises, and two, talking about how basketball is going to kind of get the plane up off the runway here with hoops. How do you feel about the start of this season and your team and how everything's fallen into place with non-conference scheduling before we get to pack play?
Well, everything was going great till I'm going to miss about 10 days here, but no, I feel good. Our group's good. The staff, Jim Shaw will take over here going forward until I get back, and we're pretty well and tight, pretty good there. New guys are fitting in well, and we've been working pretty hard, so I'm excited and just want to make sure we get it going and make the most of the situation.
And no one has asked me if I want to chip in on the bench either. Kyle, I was going to tell you, today's a good day for you to be out of the office because Kyle knows this. Chaz and I are both basketball heads. Today would have been the day I would have been in his office back and forth probably 5-6 times, asking about CJ, asking about who the Cavs are going to take, giving my opinions on Obi Toppin on why they should take him. So you picked a good day to be out of the office. But you hear anything about CJ at all?
I did. I wish him well. I know he's pretty. We communicated, and I'm sure he's anxious for this day, and just told him just best of luck, and things are going to work out because of who he is, and we'll figure it out from there. But he's in good spirits, and I know he's pretty anxious for this day, and just sitting back and watching this thing.
The NBA draft is on in front of you right now, right? Like you're on the phone, but you're watching the draft.
Oh yeah, I hit pause. I got through the. I didn't see the Cavs. But I talked to Kobe Altman last week. Isaac Okoro was not one of the names you brought up, so
I was surprised.
We're all about it.
And do people realize your relationship with the Cavaliers and with Kobe Altman? I don't know if everybody understands how tight you are with.
Well, I shouldn't expose it because I think that's why Pat hired me. The general manager of Cleveland Cavaliers was my assistant coach at Columbia. So he gives me pretty good intel on what's going on. I try not to harass too much, but I was pushing for Onyeka at that spot for some of the Pac-12, but they went with another Nigerian American. So it's good. Maybe it'll rub off from our guy F.A. Same way.
I was scrolling through one of the mock drafts. To your point, Coach, I was scrolling through it, and Pat, you'll appreciate this. The pack was up last year. It's going to be up again this year if all things are projected. But you could go from Nico Mannion to Isaiah Stewart to Zeke Naji to Jaden McDaniels to Okongwu. Coach, a lot of the pack is supposed to go tonight in these first two rounds. Maybe C.J. Ellaby hopefully as well.
Yeah, no, I was the league was good last year. We're the fourth best league in the country. It's no surprise. And a lot of the big talent were a lot of these freshmen, young guys. So, which kind of excites me that they move on. But that only means there's some more moving in. But like I said, I think we got a good group, too. That a lot of guys had a little taste of it last year and adding some new ones, so it'll be fun.
Now, you've had an additional coach on your staff with Pat Chun, our director of athletics, in the practice area the last few months or so, and Pat and I have been talking about Cougar hoops since summer. And how do you feel like it's kind of gelled together here in this COVID year? To what degree can you shed any light on rotation versus Texas Southern, and where does Yakimovsky fit in, and who's your point guard, and who's your backup point guard? What can you talk to us right now about Cougar hoops and the roster and everything?
Confident in this. Isaac Bonton will be our point guard.
All right, how about shooting guard?
Really, not sure. Not sure, but I think, and I feel really good. I think our front court's going to be a lot more depth and with their bigs, and really haven't sorted ourselves out. I think it'll take us a little time. But a lot of guys that played last year, whether it's Jazz, DJ, Tony. Tony's been hurt, but he's really guys made really big improvements. Plus, these freshmen are figuring it out. In the last close you get to games, these last 2-3 weeks, things really tighten up. So hopefully I'll know. I'll be watching from my room here in isolation on the computer. Thank you for key motion, Pat.
How strange, I mean, how weird must that feel for you? You know, now you're not the only head coach with this. Jim Boeheim got it. Kermit Davis.
Tom
Izzo. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know Coach Izzo got it.
So Kyle's dad's proud.
Kyle's dad's a Spartan. is a Spartan.
Not how I told Pat. This isn't how I want to be associated with Izzo and Boeheim.
What is this like for you to know you've got to be separate from the team right before season tip-off and watch a game on TV, I suppose, for the Texas Southern game, obviously listening to the radio broadcast in conjunction, no question. But what is this like for you?
I have no idea. No one's never been in this situation. Honestly, I think, and this is a true story, I missed, in the last 28 years, I've only missed one shoot-around for an illness.
Wow.
So, missed practice here. So, that's not something I do. But, like I said, I'm also a little unconventional. I really have great confidence in our staff and our team, our guys. I think if anyone's been around me, my leadership style really is about empowerment, about, giving guys, laying it out what they need to do, how we need to do things. We do things a certain way, and the players pick up on that, and they lead each other, and the staff the same way. And luckily, got all the staff intact. And like I said, Jim's coached. He had his
a lot of games.
2 teams are number 1 in the country, Division II, and he's been Pac-12. He's been Final Fours and stuff like that. So we're in good hands there, and I kind of like it. I just get to sit there and watch it, take notes, and talk to them the next day, and in that regard, say, hey, and I just watch and see how they do. But there'll be the adjustment when I get back too. I imagine that's the part that I'm be. I actually been in a situation where was at San Diego. I was assistant, had to take over the team for about 8 days. Brad Holland's going through some family stuff, and there's a bond there with those guys. When I come back, I'm going to be a little sensitive to that. That things they'll take a little time for them to get reacquainted with me, even though it's 7 to 10 days, but we'll figure it out.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for this time. And Pat, what you got?
Can I add one last thing? Because I know Kyle's too classy to say this, but I know we got a lot of Cougs watching and listening tonight. We have 2 of our rivals will probably get drafted in the first round tonight, Stewart and McDaniels.
Possibly.
And we hope they have long NBA careers.
Yeah.
And no matter what, they can never say they ever beat the Cougs.
That's true. Yes. Yeah.
I got to watch Pat. Pat always likes to throw those jabs.
A jab thrown on Kyle's behalf. Hey, Coach, you sound great,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate this time from you. And I'm sorry that I won't see you or hear you, however this works in Beasley for game number 1. But we want to wish you the best. And
did they already eliminate me for that game? The contact tracer said I had a shot.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
We're working with the local health officials to see what we can do. How about that?
All
Yes.
right, there we go.
Well, it's in their hands. I just want to make sure. I didn't know I got eliminated.
We've got Coach Rolovich here in the press level. You want to say anything to Coach Rolo before we cut you loose here, Coach Smith?
Sure.
Well, not on the air. Just maybe a message I could relay him. I don't have him on headset quite yet. He's within ears.
No, just tell me. I think he's doing great. Love how their team plays. Love the boxing and the QB. Wide receivers look good. The D lineman's a stud. What is it? Johnson, Jackson. What's my guy?
Brennan Jackson has played really well. Yeah, Brennan's been great.
So, no, I'm excited. We love watching them. Big Coug fans, and keep it rolling.
All right. Thank you, Coach Smith. We appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Get well, Coach.
Thank you very much. Well, he sounds great, Pat. He sounds fantastic.
Oh,
it's such a bummer. He sounds great.
You feel bad. Well, and all of our coaches, I mean, they put so much into this, and to not be a part. Kyle's, you've been around that team. They're a group that wants to be around each other. Yeah. That's how they build culture. But that's part of being a Washington State coach. You love people and you love your players.
We'll cut you loose as well. Thank you very much.
Always my pleasure.
Coach
you got the star of the show.
He's here. He is here. He's in the hallway. Thank you very much.
All right, go Cougs.
Thank you very much. That's Pat Chun, our Director of Athletics, and Kyle Smith, the head basketball coach. We'll take a break, come back. We've got questions loaded up on Twitter. We'll talk some football here with Coach Rolovich as we roll through here in the Cougar football press box.
And now, a moment of...
Coach Rolovich, now we're not at Zeppo's because of recent protocols and policies. What we do
and no fries.
No, well, that's where you're right. You're cutting right to the chase.
This is beautiful, though.
Oh, this is
I've
great.
never seen this.
We're in the this is where TV broadcasts the games from. So our booth, the home radio booth's right through that glass there.
Wow.
I'm pointing straight ahead, and this is where the telecast occurs.
Billy Meatball just gave me a tour of this floor. This is pretty nice.
You've never been up here before?
Not this floor.
I was wondering if you had been here before. Yeah, we've got
nice.
This is
you guys are living good up here.
Oh, it's great a press box. Washington State's press amenities are none. I mean, this is a beautiful building.
I can see.
It is it's a great setup. But we do want to say and highly recommend, if you're unable to be here, we want you to go to Zeppo's for takeout. Go to Zeppo's for you can't dine in right now, but we'll be back in a few weeks, and Zeppo's is the best.
Chicken fried steak was good. I had that.
Is it good?
Oh yeah,
really
good.
Time, yeah. Our engineer Jerry Kylo's nodding.
What do you think?
Going,
You don't think so?
I like the chicken fried steak. Oh no, he's giving he likes it.
I enjoyed it.
Let's talk Duck. Let's talk football here. First of all, Kyle Smith, head basketball coach, who we had on the air. Well wishes to Kyle.
Love him.
Guys love him. The best. Big football fan. Loves Brennan Jackson. Said it off the air. You didn't have a headset on, so he's a huge Brennan Jackson guy.
Yeah, he sent me a text today about.
Did he?
Observations.
Yeah. He's So he's
like the QB. Like his mindset, his confidence out there. He gave me the whole deal.
I like that the basketball coach, the week of his tip-off, is texting the football coach for some mid-football observations.
Yeah, it was good.
That's fantastic.
I appreciate his friendship.
That's awesome.
Really, all the coaches are really – I mean, there seems to be a real unity among the head coaches here.
I'd love to hear that, and I don't know if fans realize, Bowler and the Cougar Football Complex and the whole athletic department, the tentacles cross over.
Oh, yeah.
More often than folks might realize, I think.
Right. And I think at least so far I've observed, everyone's kind of got a real all-in spirit, you know what I mean? Can help each other, support each other, things like that.
There's also been a lot of athletic department-wide success. I mean, from soccer and volleyball. You were talking about Coach Green's baseball recruiting class coming up, and they were playing good baseball before the season got touched up. And basketball, I don't mean to miss anybody, but there's been a lot of success. Is it infectious from program to program?
It should be. And if there's a little envy, then go be as great as you can be.
Yeah.
So you're the top dog.
Yeah. Hey, so let's recap the Duck game a little bit. Not the result you wanted, but also not without bright spots for sure. But what's your assessment? What do you think? What were your takeaways?
Well, I think the hardest part is we everyone in our program feels like we had a real chance to win that game and really put that game away in the first half. Love the takeaways, to win the turnover margin that way and not being able to convert them into touchdowns. One of our kind of areas of focus was we need 7, not 3s to win this football game. But the sequence before halftime was probably a real momentum killer, you know what I mean? And gave them a lot of life, and made us probably question ourselves a little bit. But, they executed, we didn't.
Kick return and then a 57-yard pass play to the 3-yard line,
right.
I think it was. And with 8 seconds left in the half, and you would have been up 19-7. Assuming no points the other way.
You go back, should we have used more time on third down if we knew we were going to, we felt like I said, going in, we needed touchdowns, and we're going for the jugular a little bit to get a touchdown before half. I thought we did a nice job driving, controlling the clock before the end of the half, and you feel good. 18 seconds, maybe you could have ran the ball I just don't believe in just settling for field goals unless you're winning the football game.
You had play that you saw on film that you felt good about from whom? Who was it that kind of graded well by the way you assess such things?
I think we missed some things in the throw game. I think it was could be more lessons in this one, just in the drop back game. For Jaden than maybe the first game, to be honest. I think we had some opportunities to be more on time on the backside and getting the ball, like the ball to Travell, where they called it in, went to replay. He had the heel toe on the sideline. I think if he gets backside a little sooner, he sees that, makes a more accurate throw. I think he goes in for a touchdown. Another one, Bacon, was hitting up the seam. I thought he had a chance to hit that one, but I think the play that really shows the mentality is Jaden blocking for Dion downfield, and you see Liam just jumping all over him, all excited, and that's a real unifying kind of act of unselfishness. I think that really everyone observed and appreciated.
Aiden Hector forced 3 or was part of 3 turnovers.
He's a recipient of 3 turnovers.
Yeah, right. You're right.
Forcing it is, but that's the thing about this defense. It's really there's a togetherness. We have to play that way. We just have to with what we're playing right now. So it's a staple of not only of Coach Dickert's defense, but I think most defenses is it can't just be one guy. It's got to be everybody running to the ball. And though we lost, the compliment of you got those guys playing hard has been said both games, and that's a credit to the assistant coaching staff and the way what these guys want to do for each other.
The missed not to harp on things that didn't happen, but the missed interception on that first half drive, the double miss, the Jihad Woods, I think it was Daniel Isom, in and out of both of their hands, that then resulted in a touchdown. That one hurt as well. It felt like
it hurt, but it didn't kill the spirits. I think obviously Jihad was upset, wanted it. Isom wanted it. You saw their emotions afterwards, but it didn't break. I actually, when I saw that, I said, "Oh, that's the one we needed to really get the confidence going." And I'm like, I hope that opportunity doesn't break our will this early versus a good opponent. And I don't think it did.
Was that something that you thought in the moment of the first half, or like in retrospect?
No, right then.
Yeah.
I said, I wonder if that was our chance. You know what I mean? And you don't say it out loud, but was that, obviously we'd love to have it in any game, but was that a way to really throw a strong blow to their confidence? Because Jihad was in great position, good coverage all over, and just didn't go our way.
All said and done, and we'll talk a little bit more about this game, and then we'll get to questions, and we'll talk about Stanford. But all said and done, the Ducks came in 11th ranked team of the country, the Pacific Northwest rival. Strange year. A team picked to win the North and picked to win the Pac, and you had a halftime lead, and you had a touchdown ball game, a gap with minutes to play. How much do you pull away from that, and you feel good about where you were in the ball game, but albeit a 2-touchdown loss?
Well, I mean, this is not saying Oregon hasn't gone through stuff either. It's hard to judge a little bit this year because we have our issues, but each team has their set of different issues, you know what I mean? And, were they at full strength? You never really kind of know. But I know our effort was at a high level, and that gave us a chance. It's 11 mortal men on the field. And that's what I try to get in these guys' heads. I know they do a great job marketing, right? They've had a great history in the last decade or so of real strong programs and teams. But the good thing about this group, that didn't matter to them. They like I said, a lot of guys have had multiple wins over that Oregon program, and I think that was. They weren't going to let the young guys. I bet there was. I don't know this, but I bet there was great, confidence given to Jaden. Like, hey, don't even worry about it. We beat these guys before. You can't just, don't let the logo beat you before the game, kind of thing.
We are live here with Coach Rolovich. We're in the football press box area, and we'll take a break. Normally we're live at Zeppo's, but this is the Coach's Show here on the Palouse from just right across the practice field area here. We're
beautiful place.
It's fantastic where we pulled you from. So we'll take a break, come back. We are live here with Coach Rolovich.
This isn't a grilled cheese.
We are with Coach Rolovich, and we've got some questions rolling in on Twitter for you. So let's do some Twitter questions, and then we can talk some more ball. We've got the opponent preview segment coming up here in a bit. Nick wants to know, he's got one, we've got a little trend here. We've got football question, non-football question coming from some folks. So this is the football portion. Do you prefer to use a workhorse running back or rotate them like we're seeing more and more in the NFL?
Probably a more featured back, and then spelling them with a rotation.
We've seen a lot of Deion McIntosh.
I know, we've seen a lot of them, and he's taken a big load of the offense. It's definitely something we discuss.
Did you talk to Juvenzli at all about his first carry and flushing it and not thinking about it? Or?
I think Coach Smith took care of that. It was a draw play, and that's probably one of the more could be one of the more mistake exchanges we could have. It's just a little bit different. There's a fake by the QB and then hand it. It's a tough first play. You know what I mean? We got to be able to handle it, but that wasn't a really. I'm sure that wasn't how JoJo saw his first opportunity coming.
Nor is it indicative of his quality as a player.
Not at all. The play, it was, I think the play call on defense was going to give it problems anyway.
Nick asks, coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
That's a hard yes, coffee.
I've had my energy drink phases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually not by its lonesome, but coffee. I'm a black coffee guy.
Yeah. No, just black. Just
not much.
There was a thing going around on social media. It was like a bunch of coffee cups, like 30 coffee cups with like ascending or descending coloration because of cream or coffee, so like you could pick on a chart. Yeah. So you just go with the black.
I'm a big French press guy.
Oh, delicious! Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A little more caffeine that way too.
Is it?
Allegedly, I don't really know, but allegedly, that's a thing.
Okay.
David at and he's got looks like a Coug logo, Pacific Northwest Twitter handle here.
Okay.
Avatar for Coach Rollo. Would you characterize the Oregon loss as a lack of execution in key moments? The team appeared to be rolling in the first half. If they can play full 4 quarters, they look so tough to beat.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would agree with that. I think it's probably a fair statement. The other team, they practice and they get coached to do stuff too. So, but I think there was, you can get beat and you can lose a game. I think we had more opportunities to win that football game than we were able to execute.
Ben wants to know one football question, one non-football question. What are the keys to motivating players after a tough loss?
Like I said before, I think this team, it probably took a little bit more with these guys because, right, so much negative has happened, so much change of schedule, so much. I know everyone's dealing with stuff, so I'm not asking you to feel sorry for us, but and I tend to look at it like, out of anybody in the world, us as football coaches and them as players are some of the only groups in the country that really get to do what they want to do and live how they want to live for a few hours a day. So, I try to turn it positive, look at the opportunity. You get a chance to go out and practice. You get a chance to go to meetings, even though different places around the campus and spread out and all that stuff, but you still get to do football. There's a lot of people who aren't having the opportunity to do what they either love to do or, the job that they enjoy doing. So we have to take advantage of that. But the question was what? I'm sorry, I went on a little ramble there.
No, it's great. The question was, what are the keys to motivating players after a tough
So
loss?
I think this team had, they really believe almost like a team of destiny type deal. And, been through so much, I think we're going to do it. And I tend to talk real positively about opportunities and what's in front of us. And, we can be as great as we can be. I think there was a little bit of down, and getting them back up, the opportunity to play Stanford, that's my job, especially early in the week and letting them feel bad, but getting them back up, look at the positives, look at the opportunities we missed, and guys are giving a lot of effort. And so I credit them for that and would like to see them have as much success as we can have.
Yeah, the effort level's pretty apparent. I mean, this is a team that's playing its tail off. They practice really hard. I can speak to that as well.
Well, there's especially defensively, how they run practice on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of, I know I say this word a lot, but, a lot of plays. Well, first off, Stanford's got so many formations and personnel groups, so they have to get these reps. But a lot of guys are defensive linemen. All right, I'm going to go help the scout team. I'll get some offensive line reps just to give a look. And they've got a pretty good system down.
Second question from Ben, very non-football question.
Okay.
Kind of a tough one, Coach. This is a hot seat question. If you
All
were
right.
stranded on a desert island and could only bring one movie to watch, what film are you taking? Now, this desert island in this scenario needs a television,
Correct,
and a video player. So we need to adjust the scenario. But I think he's making.
I get one.
You get one movie. Desert island, one movie, assuming you can watch the movie.
Boondock Saints.
Oh, it's a great flick.
Great flick.
That's a great. Do you think the players on the
We
team?
all must fear evil, man.
It's a great movie. That is a very That's kind of a cult classic movie.
Hey,
Great flick.
El Duce.
That's a great movie. Do you think that current Cougar football players know that? Do you think current Pack players know that movie?
I don't know.
I bet they don't.
I don't know.
Maybe they do.
But there's
Great.
I love it.
Oh,
right?
it's awesome. Yeah.
Do not ask how far, but do you possess the Constitution to go as far as needed?
I haven't seen it too long to Did you like are you a comic book guy at all? Did you like the Punisher? It's kind of similar. No, sort of somewhat similar.
No.
All right, tell you what.
Let's move on.
Let's do that. Let's take a break. We've got some more questions in on Twitter, but we are up against it. I'm looking at the clock here, so we'll take a break. We'll come back live here in the Cougar Football Press Box here in Martin Stadium.
And now,
Press Box here in Martin Stadium with Coach Rolovich as we work our way through to this Stanford game. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill 2020. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. We've got Twitter questions rolling in here, Coach, and I love the listener participation element.
I think it's great.
It's great.
It makes it non-stale.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
It's great fun.
Fresh.
Yeah. Greg wants to know how big he's got a typo here. How big does a lead need to be before we see QB2? So, and then what's coach's philosophy? I think the idea is like, if you're up by 50, does a quarterback get reps? How does that work?
Well, I think it depends on each situation, right? I think Jaden, as a true freshman, can use a little bit more reps, right? But I like June Jones had a rule. You're up by 35, do whatever you want when you score a touchdown, so that no person. I mean, you could dance and so.
Was that the rule?
That was the rule.
If you're up by 35,
do whatever you want when you score. Yeah, do whatever you want.
What if you got a flag? Like, is that it's okay?
He laughed about
you're up 35.
You're up 35 points. Then you kick a 50-yard extra point.
No worries.
No, I think you'd like to have obviously a comfortable lead, but also. Are you trying to get your backup, some reps? Does he look like he's the future? Does he have a package going in where it's not even about the lead, about easing him in a little bit? So I think it's very, very different.
So, okay, let's go back a little bit here to
Sure.
the Duck game before we go to the Stanford game. Offensive line. We talked a lot about, before the year started, how it was deep, and that was one of the strengths when you got here, when you first noticed. How did they play against I
thought the pass pro was very good. Had some movement issues early, but I think for the most part, that group has been solid in the first two games.
Yeah. Running game. Dion. How did Dion do against the Ducks?
I think I'm trying to think if he missed anything. I don't know that there's anything that I could point out that he really missed in the running game. There were some alignment things that we need to correct, just mental errors, but I don't think those killed us either. Jaden got him right on one, I know.
Renard Bell had a career game.
Had a good game. Couple things away from the ball I asked him to work on, pointed out, but obviously when the ball came his way, he was productive for us. I know he's very disappointed he wasn't able to split. Maybe it was a slant he caught. Thought he should have scored. He's hard on himself, and so I, try to bring him back. He goes, I should have scored. I said, yeah, we'll go score on the next play. Okay. Anybody else?
I was rolling through Travell Harris. How'd Travell play?
Travell, another productive game for Travell. I think they're enjoying kind of getting more comfortable and seeing more looks and seeing more of the answers more quicker than just on paper, and I think they're seeing it a little bit faster in game speed.
Lucas Bacon.
Well, I was happy for Lucas to get his first catch. Very crispy way to get in the end zone. I thought he was going to go a little bit more forcefully, but that's Bacon. He's just crafty. But he's been we brought him up before. He's shown to be reliable in practice. Very well. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I think he understands the entirety of the offense at a pretty high level for a first-year guy.
Jameer Calvin.
Like to get him involved more. I think we missed him in the first game on that switch route where he went by the safety. Really nice job by him because that was early in the game, and that's kind of an advanced decision to make, especially when you're at the beginning of teaching the run and shoot. Sometimes that could cloud his decision, but I love his decision. Again, I think we just missed the opportunity. We've missed him a couple times where there could have been big plays. I think his time's coming. I don't know if it's Stanford, but I think he's a guy we definitely want to get the ball in his hands.
All right, we just kind of rolled through the whole offense there. I don't know that we missed anybody, but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. I think next segment is our Stanford preview segment, so we'll talk a little bit about the Cardinal next. Live here from the football press box here, live with Coach Rolovich. In the football press box with Coach Rolovich. Coach Rolovich's first time in the football press box, and
I
it's
think
great
so.
to have. Yeah.
At least this in depth.
Yeah, we are in it. You're in the
Billy Meatballs gave me a little tour. It was nice.
I love the Billy Meatballs. It's never not going to make me laugh. Billy Meatballs. That's Bill Stevens, our phenomenal sports information.
Where'd he
director.
go? He's out of here.
He disappeared. Yeah, maybe he went to the. I don't know. I don't know where he's going. Hey, so Stanford.
Yeah.
Week 1, they're 0-2. They lost at Oregon 35-14. Had a day of wrong COVID test for their quarterback and one of their top wide receivers. So Davis Mills, Connor Weddington, boom, they're out. Turns out the league apologized. It was this whole thing. So Jack West comes in. That's a very tough situation. So they lose to the Ducks.
Especially right. I mean that right before game day.
Yeah,
it's tough to do, but you're going to get all the personnel groups you can handle. You'd think about Stanford as a ground and pound team, right? I think, at least from my observations, they still want to be able to run the ball, and they want to give you different looks. They want you to make a mistake in alignment because that crease usually finds it, and that back will find it. Those backs will find it. So alignment and assignment will be, critical for us. Identifying personnel groups, and this is not just on the players, right? You got a personnel guy in the booth. All right, looks like 22 personnel, right? And then, Jake's got to flip his mind. What's my 22 personnel call for this situation? So I think that's part of their strategy. But they're not afraid to take shots down the field now. 13 is a hell of a player. Big body, faster than you think, crafty as far as releases. He's not just a bully when he's he's got some skills. So, and he's definitely someone who is their big play guy when you're talking about averaging over 20-something a catch. And he was that way last year. When you look at his 2019 stats, I think it was even higher. So, now the QB, right, he's got a whole week to practice and dialed in, so it's definitely going to be a challenge.
Simi Fehoko is 6'4", 227, and a burner. And last year was second in America at 23.5 yards a catch. The player who was first played for Air Force in the triple option. So
right.
they were constantly,
I've seen those guys. They get the big ones.
Yeah, they're constantly going over the top of this one guy.
Yep.
But Fehoko last year had a big game against the Cougs. 3 catches, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Connor Weddington is the other is another productive receiver
Correct.
for them. But then defensively, what do they show you? How are you trying to attack this defense with the run and shoot?
Well, protection first, right? We always kind of start in the core, right? How's their front? You're talking about. I know 34 is a real disruptive player on the inside there. They also got the real tall kid.
Thomas Schaefer from Austria, 6'7".
Yeah, 6'7".
Yeah.
So there's a guy when our quarterback's not 6'7", so there's a right. I'm sure it's get your hands up, get in the way, type of deal there. But even their outside linebackers, 10 and 11, I think both have are good sized guys that I think they're around 230, 235, but they look thick. They look like a big physical defensive front, not overly big, but just a thick group.
Yeah. They're 6'3", basically 6'3", 230 on paper across the whole linebacking core.
Right.
Big linebackers. Yep. Thomas Booker was the defensive end you first mentioned, 6'4", 310. Dalen Wade-Perry, 6'4", 330, and then Thomas Schaefer, 6'7", 301.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes numbers on paper can be fibbed, but Stanford's always really big.
Well, when you see him on film, you're whether you believe the numbers or not, you're getting some girth. And I mean, there's a play where 71 just clubs a guard from somebody and just clubs them out of the way. So definitely a challenge up front. I think I'm assuming just because of rumors that Stanford has had one of the more difficult times getting together and getting stuff inserted as far as offensively and defensively. I don't know that they're going to overcomplicate the game plan. They're just going to line up and play the calls that they got, and where they can, I think, easily more can be more to their advantage is on the offensive side of the ball with some of the looks, the unbalance, the extra alignment in there, all those looks to cause hesitancy on our defense. and then they can pop a big play. I think that's something that they'll probably do easier than all the adjustments with major pressure packages with, maybe not the training camp or off season that they would have liked.
We'll take a break, come back. Final segment coming up next. We're there already here in the show with Coach Rolovich. It is fast. We're here with Coach Rolovich. It is each week, and we're live here in the football press box here in Martin Stadium.
And now,
Just a little bit of time left here in the show, and I want to go ahead and give another plug. Our favorite people at Zeppo's. This is a strange time, and we know they'll hang in, and
we'd love to be there.
We would love to be there, and I want to give a huge thanks to our producer and engineer, Jerry Kylo. Jerry's the best.
The best.
And Jared Prenghuber gets us on for those who are watching. Much thanks for those who are watching and listening.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And thank you, Coach, as always. I know we're pulling you off practice and stuff.
No,
for real. I really appreciate it, and this is fantastic. We really appreciate your time.
I appreciate the support, and this is a fun deal.
It's awesome. Thank you. And thanks to Kyle Smith and well wishes. He sounded great on the phone, and Pat Chun, who is helping pinch hit here as things are a little strange in 2020. But we're rolling on. Good luck, Coach. Safe travels, and we'll figure it all out. Go Cougs.
Yep, go Cougs.